Good morning, everybody, and this is your S&P 500 day trade setups for today. I just want to start with the weekly quickly because we do have a fairly interesting setup here. We've got diversions on the weekly, so you can see high, higher, high, high, lower, high, and we've got a big inside bar here. And I just want to see what kind of structure we're bouncing off. And look to the left, you can see this level here. We've paid attention to it quite a bit, and that is 41.57. And you can see we are kind of rejecting it. So we're not really getting a crossover of the weekly moving averages. They're just staying flat at the moment. So there's a lot going on here, a lot of confusion. I do suspect that this could lead to a leg down. So you can see leg up, down, higher low, higher high. So I expect something, some kind of a move, to the downside. But the big question is where. You don't really see anything on the weekly that is logical, and you can see we're in an area right now which is of interest. If you look to the left, quite a bit going on here. So and you look at these two pin bars here, we've got 2 pin bars off this level. So I'm not entirely convinced we're going to be moving down. We are in an uptrend at the moment, but just looking at what's happening on the DAX, the DAX is looking like it is going to have a bit of a retracement. It's still in a solid uptrend, but just a little bit of a ease off. So, what is that going to equate to in the US markets in the morning session? Maybe a bit of a pullback, and then the US market opens in a bit of a sort of move back up, and then a pullback, and so a couple of days of that. But for me at the moment, if you look at the 3-hour, we're bouncing off the 155 moving averages. Sorry, the oscillators have pointed the upside, but we're in amongst the moving averages. So nothing really that I want to be reading into that just yet. So solid level that we need to pay attention to. This is 40.63, and obviously 40.50 will be a solid level as well. And let's just check if we got there. Probably got there here. Yeah, 40.52. So round number, typically always on the S&P is always something that needs to be paid attention to. So we drop down to the hour. Let's have a look at what we've got here. So Thursday was a big move down, and then Friday was sideways, but we are below the moving averages. So I would argue that we are probably, and I'm just going to do a zone up here. So we're probably going to look for a rejection here. So that's 40.90 or 4100. So 4100 would probably be the better bet. And then you also have just a little bit higher, which is also of interest, but it's a little bit too far past the moving averages here. So I'm going to just get that out of the way. This is the zone we're looking at, 4100. I'd expect us to see a rejection off there for a move back down onto 40.63 and 40.50 to start with. We start dropping below the lows of Friday. Bear in mind that is also the low of the week. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's the low of the week. And then there is another area of interest from the previous week. But then that starts setting up the bigger move to the downside. And then what that does is start setting up, we break through that, then you've got to look for the next logical area, and the next logical area is going to be somewhere down here. And I'd also just pay attention to any gaps that you see. You have to go quite far to the left, and you have to pay attention to like this gap here. Look there, that gap is still open, and there were a couple further down. I think this one's also still open. Yeah, there's just tails there, so that one's also open. So that's what you're going to have to do, because those will attract price. Okay, so for me today, a bit of a bearish outlook, to be honest. I think probably going to drift a bit lower, and Forex is also backing it up. So if you look what's happening on Forex, the dollar is getting a bit stronger. So I do suspect that's what's going to happen. Probably close this gap first, though, would be the most logical thing. If it drops during the European session and doesn't come back, then that's a breakaway gap. You'll probably see a quicker move down to find some support. I do think 4,000 is probably our ultimate target again. It doesn't look like we are getting past 4,000 with much conviction. You can see this area here is where 4,000 is. So we had the one pullback here to test it. I mean, that's 4018, but if you look, let's put this on 4,000. There's 4,000. So look there, look at the structure there. And we had this one pullback onto it. So, that's still an option as well. However, look at your oscillators here. They are pointing to the downside. So if you don't reject 4,100, then, and you get above 4,100 and find a base there, then shorts are off and we're looking for longs, and we're looking for a long backup to probably test this trend line here. I'm just going to put it like that. Okay, so anyway, that's kind of my outlook. This could be a flag that's brewing as well, which is of a lot of interest to me at the moment. But 15 minutes, if you do get the rejections of 4090 or 4100, it's well worth the opportunity to push down again, and then you're looking for a break of the low here. If this doesn't happen, and let's say we reject off here and we push down and we reject off here, that starts a bigger range, and that range is going to be pretty much the same as what happened on Friday. Okay, so that's kind of the view I've got at the moment. It's only once we actually break through the highs and lows of Friday that the bigger trade will be on. But until then, it does look like it's a bearish setup on the lower time frames, that is. And if you look at Europe and if you look at the Forex market, it all ties together. So I think that's kind of the outlook I've got for today. Same rules apply, guys. Stop losses close, position sizes small and manageable until we break through the ranges that are forming at the moment. And the Dow Jones is in a massive range, so that's also an indication that you need to be careful. Anyway, hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.